On this document, you'll be taking your notes for your branch of government. This is the beginning of your branch of government project. So what you'll need to do is choose one of the three branches of government, and you'll put that information here on the Google Doc. Then you'll do some research to try to find out what are the major responsibilities for this branch, who is in this branch. You'll need to figure out their role in creating a new bill or law, and some on how this branch checks on the other branches or the power of the other branches. And you'll list your sources all on this page. And this is where your notes will be. Your notes do not have to be in complete sentences. You can use bullet points. I would recommend using your own words rather than copy and pasting from anything you read or find. And that way, when I go ahead and grade these notes, I'll see that everything is written in your own words. You've summarized and found the pieces of information you need to start your project. While you were taking notes, I gave you this second page as useful resources. You need to use print and digital resources. This might sound a little different because print sources are usually on paper. These are actually digital sources, but the books here are print books. They are just used digital tools so that you can see them and access them. There are some scanned books and articles here for you to use. The Constitution by Kristen Cashore is a really useful one. It details each of the three branches, talks about making new laws, and it talks about checks and balances, so I would recommend that one. Epic Books has a lot of books in this folder. You might have seen in your library or as a notification you are shared a government folder. And there's just a lot of resources here that you can choose from. Some of them will be just right books for you. Some of them will be a little bit too detailed for your project, but I included them all here in case you needed a few more things. These white ones, about the legislative, judicial, and executive branch, I would recommend because they're a little bit shorter and they have great information. Then you can check through some of the others. Don't feel like you need to read all of them. Just pick and choose the ones that work for you and your branch of government. You also have some digital resources here. These are websites that I have found useful and other students have found useful in the past. Some of them might be familiar to you as we've used them for other assignments. There is a note at the bottom that says you can do your own research, but when you do a Google search for a branch of government, so maybe I have the executive branch, I want to find information on my own by clicking on these different websites that show up, and try to avoid Wikipedia or the little boxes of information that show up on the side, which, as you can see, this comes from Wikipedia. So if I wanted to use whitehouse.gov, I could click on this, and I can use this. Just make sure you save that website later so that you can cite it as one of your sources. This one I did not include on the list of resources just because it's such a long website. It has so much information that sometimes it's overwhelming. But the information is useful if you want to go through and skim through the website to find some information about your branch of government. It does have a page for the legislative and judicial as well. Once you have all of these things filled out and they are detailed with enough information to thoroughly answer the question, you will be ready to start your project.